Today, the topic of conversation is the calf muscle. The calves can make or break a physique. A lot of the great ones sported a fantastic set. Look at Dorian Yates. Would he have been as great without those giant calves? And another Mr. Olympia champion, Chris Dickerson. Not too many people talk about his calves, but truly some of the best in bodybuilding history. But today, we are going to take a look at some puny little calves, some of the worst calves in bodybuilding history. This is Serge Nubret. And considering, I guess the dude beside him, I think that's Tom Sansone, if I'm not mistaken, just off the top of my head. Hey, he had an equally bad set of calves, so I guess we'll leave both of those guys alone for now. But this guy does not escape the bashing. This is Andreas calling, and he had what I like to call a very highly inserted calf. Well, not just me. It's a genetic thing. If you have a highly inserted calf, then it is twice as hard to build the calf muscle. And I found this picture. You see this? This was from an actual magazine. They put his picture and they edited out his calf. I think it was like some sort of an inside joke. But yeah, this was a magazine cover. Anyway, I wonder what their excuse was. He's the guy, I'm sure you've seen these pictures. He's the guy, it looks like he may have, with all due respect, had a stroke or something. His face is a little bit squinted, But look at his calves. Look at his calves. And here's from behind. Have you ever seen a worse set of calves? I don't know. Hey, with all due respect, guy's got a better back than me. Who knows how old he is? But anyway, for the most part, we are going to look at pretty highly ranked bodybuilders because, I'm sure there's bodybuilders that are terrible that never even competed once on the Olympia stage that have worse calves than some of these guys, like Bill Grant. Bill Grant had an incredible upper body. It was huge. And I think that's what made his little calves look so tiny. I mean, he had it all from striated glutes to lower lat insertions and great big biceps. But then you look at those calves. So disappointing. So disappointing. And it's all about proportions. Look at Brian Buchanan. Not too many people talk about his calves because, they celebrate that tiny little wee waistline and those huge, huge arms. And I think that was really what made his calves look so small. From behind, not too bad. Not too bad. You can tell he worked them. But I mean, now that you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's another guy that fell victim to not only the highly inserted calves, but the guy had a huge, big, giant upper body. Mighty Mike Quinn. You guys remember Mike Quinn? He was in the WBF. He was a maniac. Look at this guy from behind. Look at those calves. Not only highly inserted, but I don't think he worked them out all that much. And I mean, the bigger, the better the back is, the worse they're going to look. Take a look at this. I always thought Mike Quinn and Mike Matarazzo. I apologize. Mike Matarazzo. I always thought they were quite similar. They were kind of maniac style. They had good lat insertions, things of that nature, traps. But then look at their calves. They had the same name too. Look at their calf difference. Oh my goodness. Wow. So yeah. Mighty Mike Quinn, if you didn't realize. Terrible set of calves. Here's another dude. This is Marco Savolainen. And many of you probably wonder why this guy didn't really make it. Why he didn't go all the way. First of all, I may very well have put him on my Synthol video. But I don't know. In proportion to his upper body, those calves were staggering. And there was one video here, it looks like he was going to fall from behind, because his calves were so small and his upper body was so huge. Anyway. You guys remember Aaron Baker? His calves weren't too bad. They actually weren't too bad at all. Have a look. Okay, watch his calves now. Boom. There's something to think about. There's something to think about for sure. I'm sure somebody's gonna put the time in the comment section and let us know exactly what was going on. Was Ronnie Coleman's calves that bad? You guys mention it a lot. I don't know. Look like he maybe had a tear. You see from behind, looks like the inside of the calves torn a little bit. But I mean, come on. I think his upper body and his quads were just so gosh darn big that it made his calves look small. And another guy, Dexter the Blade Jackson, I honestly don't think that it justifies having him on this list. Considering this is him 2020, what was he, 50? And his calves had improved and actually looked pretty darn good, I have to say. So, I mean, come on. And another dude you guys really give a hard time about his calves is Ian. Are they really that bad? Maybe a little bit more muscle separation needed for the Canadian man. Ian for those calves. But I don't know. Especially when you have a guy like this. Dennis Wolf. It looked like half of his left calf was cut off and his right calf very highly inserted. This is in 2013. Now look, this is 2014. And it just in that 1 year, it got way worse. Here's a glimpse of it from behind. And Dennis Wolf, I mean, he may very well have the worst calves in bodybuilding history. Even he made a return in 2018, and I do not think that his calves had improved one bit. And I figured you guys knew that I was going to put Dennis Wolf on this, so I saved this set of calves for the end. Just as a little bonus. Not saying they're worse than Dennis Wolf's. They might be, but this is the last one on the list. Anybody guess this by now? Anybody know who has this highly inserted, tiny flat, missing the inside calf? Oh my goodness. It's Johnny O. Johnny O. Jackson. And I love Johnny O. Jackson. And the reason why his calf, look at it. Just one of them really is terrible. They're both bad, but I mean, the reason why they're so bad is because his upper body was top 10 abs, top 10 chest, traps, back, and then those calves, looks like it's been, it's gone, deteriorated. So, and another reason why they're maybe even worse than Dennis Wolf's calves, they're unsymmetrical too. I mean, one of them's passable. Not too bad, but I mean, that bad one, unsymmetrical, terrible, the worst display of calves I've ever seen. Him and Dennis Wolf, I guess. Dennis Wolf, honorable mention for the worst calves of all time, but hey, Johnny O. Jackson right there with him. Let me know in the comment section below who I missed. I'm sure I missed somebody with some bad calves. Anyway, hit thumbs up on it and subscribe to the channel, unless you have already. Have a great one.